Yes, I quite enjoyed my gig tonight, thank you. It was great fun, very nice crowd. Sligo, they laughed in mostly the right places. It was kind of, it was good, yeah, enjoyed it.
And what made you kind of feel like you wanted to be a comedian?
I kind of used to make my aunt laugh when I was about 7 or 8. I remember she used to always, as soon as she'd arrive, she'd ask me to sit down and tell her stories about my imaginary friends, and that's kind of how it started. And then I remember, like, I went to college and didn't have a clue what I wanted to do after college, and I was debating at college. I used to get a big laugh for that, and I thought, that's actually, it's really good fun doing this. And so I just thought, maybe there was really nothing else to do at the time. There was no jobs in Ireland when I left college, and so myself and my friends, we set up a comedy club, and we just started doing it.
And what was your first gig like?
It was brilliant. No, the first gig ever was, I can remember what I was wearing, and I can remember being terrified. I remember I was like just sweating profusely, like I left a puddle behind me on the stage. I remember my leg was shaking uncontrollably. Like I was kind of rattling. I was that terrified the first time. But I remember getting good laughs for it. I probably would never have done it again if that first one hadn't worked, because I'm sensitive. And I just remember most of what I'd worked on. So, I'd spent a long time obviously writing it all out and learning it all off in front of the mirror, and then just getting up and doing it. And I remember, yeah, it went really, really well, and I got a good bit of mileage out of that first set.
And you always include like your family and your friends. Do they know, or do they mind, or do they ask you to put them in?
Not really. My parents, it took them a while to figure out that, that it wasn't really about them, that it was kind of like my parallel life, or my, everything I say is sort of based on the truth. It's not the truth, but it's based on some real thing that happened, some genuine experience or feeling or event, or something. And so what I do, it's an exaggeration of me. So the guy on stage, it's not really me,
yeah,
but it's kind of very much based on me, but it's just a big exaggerated version of my persona. And likewise, anyone I refer to in that, like if I talk about my wife or my parents or my brothers and sisters or friends or anyone, they kind of I can see them in my mind's eye when I'm doing the joke, but it's not really them. It's like I've just borrowed them, or it's avatars of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And having done TV work, would that help you fill up the audiences? Would that be a help?
It is a bit of a help, actually. I mean, it's very hard to get audiences in Ireland today. They don't have to come, and it really does help. Like if they know your name. I think in Sligo, I think like in the Model, for example, like there's a regular comedy club, and it does well when there's someone who's a familiar name from TV, and it doesn't do so well, when there isn't. And there's really no reason why that should happen, because like the show could be just as good. It's just that you don't know the guy's name. Like you'll still have a great night out. So I mean, I suppose I'm lucky enough in the sense that people are very familiar with me from TV shows, and so I can still get an audience that way. But I like to think that you get the audience when they do come, that they're coming to see stand-up comedy. They're not coming to just see the guy from the TV, because that would be a bit boring. I mean, what would the guy from the TV do? I'm not a real priest. The other priests aren't there. It doesn't make any sense.
And just like the last question, if for people that might want to get into comedy, what would your advice be to them if you had to say one thing?
Well, I mean, to be flippant, I mean, be very funny. Like that's the obvious thing, and start with something very funny and finish with something very funny, and then do loads of really very funny stuff in the middle. But above all, genuinely, just be yourself. That is the only advice I would give anyone. Is base it on your own experience. Don't copy what Michael McIntyre does on TV, or any other comedian you like. Don't try and copy his style or her style, or don't try and just use the same subject matter. You've got to talk about your life, and believe it or not, it will be interesting. It may not even be interesting to you, but the fact that it's your life and it's something that people will be able to relate to, I think that's really helpful.
All right, well, thanks for coming down.
No problem. Cheers.
Thank you.
Hi. Who the face?
What face?
I don't know.